If you've ever wanted to learn how to sell bulk cards, then you're in the right place. Because in this video, I'm going to share all the tips, tricks, and secrets behind turning cards people say are trash into cash. Now, as we jump into this, I'm going to be sharing all of the numbers and how you actually make money selling a 20-cent card on TCG Player. But before we do that, you need to realize that selling bulk isn't going to make you rich overnight, and it's not really for the short-term flipper mindset or someone that's just trying to make a quick buck. Bulk is a long and hard process that allows you to make steady and consistent revenue and profit on the cards you're selling, to grow your business slowly but steadily over time. It allows you to have more revenue to reinvest in maybe other areas of the hobby. For example, my business, I have I would say a small, modest Pokemon card business that I started this year. I've done 5 figures in sales. Note that's just total sales and revenue. But I've done all this out of a spare bedroom in my house, and I did it all by starting with about $1,000 total and starting with bulk. Those bulk sales allowed me to generate more revenue, and I got to reinvest that into collection buys. I started a small rip and ship. I order, sealed Japanese product. I rip it on my stream, sell it locally, sell it online through my website. I've been able to do a lot of stuff, all because of the hard work I've put into bulk. But it's not for everyone. As I said, it's hard work, and it's not going to make you rich overnight. So my name is Matt. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm with RAR TCG. If you don't mind, leave a like and a comment down below. If you are an established, seasoned seller, business owner in the space, let us know your thoughts towards selling bulk, and let us know what you started your business with. Because believe it or not, and we're going to touch on this at the end, there are a ton of different ways. There's a plethora, a myriad of different ways that you can actually make money without scalping in the TCG Pokemon space. It's an exciting, beautiful hobby that we all get to be part of. And what's really amazing about bulk, which we're going to talk about, is the unique kind of role that you play in the hobby and the reselling space. It's pretty cool. So what I mean by that is, when it comes to bulk, when it really comes to selling anything, you need to know who your customer is. Who is your ideal buyer, and how can you structure your inventory, your business, your brand towards those ideal customers? So when you're selling bulk, who is your ideal customer? Think about it for a second. Well, we're talking about lower end cards, right? Well, there's going to be 2 primary buyers. The first is maybe people looking to complete their master sets, people to pick up some cards for a starter collection, or on the flip side of that, and more often than not, you're selling to people who play the competitive card game. These are people who are going to buy your cards and put them into their decks to play locally at their LGS, national tournaments, or beyond. And I think that's really stinking cool. That's such a unique and awesome place and role to play in the hobby. I'm always excited whenever I get orders for Pokemon card bulk, because I know that those cards are going to go into a binder. People are going to love them and cherish them and look back on them. Or those cards are literally going to be put into decks and be played all over the United States. I know that some of my cards are being played at LGS tables, and there's just something really neat and fulfilling about that. But to get a card from a bulk lot to somebody's, deck, it takes forever. It takes a lot of hard work. It takes a long time. We're going to break down some of that. This video is primarily going to be about breaking down the numbers, because I see there's a lot of bulk content out there. There's a lot of really great creators that create bulk content, but you don't oftentimes see the actual numbers and fees all broken down for how you actually make money from these cards that you're buying. So let's go ahead and break it down. We're going to look at this question. Can you make money from selling a 20-cent card? Now, you may be stopping and saying, Matt, what do you mean 20-cent card? Wouldn't that be a pretty expensive bulk card? Because you look at TCG Player, you see a lot of bulk cards with a market price of a penny, 2 pennies, 5 cents. Well, that's all true, but if you're going to start this business, if you're going to start this journey, one of the first and most important things that anybody could ever tell you as a content creator is to have a floor price. I'm gonna use a 20-cent floor price as an example, but just so you know, I have experimented with multiple floor prices and I change my floor price quite regularly. But what is a floor price? Well, a floor price is the minimum amount of money that you're gonna list any card at. So even if a card has a market value of 3 cents, you're still gonna list it at your floor price of 20 cents or 15 cents, whatever that is for you. However, if a card has a market price above 20 cents, of course, you're going to match that higher market price. Whenever you're buying bulk lots, you're typically buying thousands of cards at one time, and the ideal buy range is going to be anywhere between $5 to $10 per thousand cards. You're very rarely are you going to actually be able to buy full bulk lots at $5 per thousand, but I really like to put that $5 range in there as just kind of a goal, like a kind of a home run goal that you can kind of strive for sometimes. Because believe it or not, you can buy bulk at that rate, but oftentimes you're going to get closer to that $10 per thousand cards. So if you do the quick math, that is 1 penny per card. Some bulk buyers also give a premium for hollows and reverse hollows, but to be honest, a lot of reverse hollows and hollows do not have a large enough premium on them to really offer too much more money, because oftentimes those rare hollows you're buying, if you're overpaying for them and the market price is still 5 cents and you paid 3 cents for it, that's not giving you a ton of room for profit. And at the end of the day, with bulk, you want to make sure, or try to make sure, that every single purchase, every single order is generating revenue of some kind, because the magic happens in the numbers. Remember, we bought these cards at 1 penny. So we take our card here that we bought at 1 penny, we list it for 20 cents, and someone comes by and picks it up. For them, that's a great opportunity to add that card to their deck. They're not worried at all about spending that much money. That's very typical. And then you, as an established seller on TCG Player with a wide variety of cards listed, you know exactly what your buyer needs. You've made sure to list multiple sets and everything like that. So you already have made sure to position your inventory and your business in a way that would target the right audience. So that person buys that card and is excited to get it. They pay the 20 cents plus the $1.31 shipping that TCG Player adds automatically. So all of a sudden, our order total is for $1.51. At this point, up here, over here in this side of the screen, I'm going to throw a little notepad up. You're going to see some numbers here. We're going to walk through it. And hopefully at the end of the day, you're going to understand what's going on. I'm actually going to get my notepad here, my handy dandy note card, actually, not my notepad. Let's go ahead and break it down. So as I said, our order total is $1.51, okay? So remember, on TCG Player, TCG Player charges fees for the combined total of the order. They don't just charge fees on the price of the card. They combine the card price and your shipping price, and then that's where the fees come out of. There are really, a lot of people think of TCG or eBay fees as one fee, but oftentimes this is broken out in 2 different ways. So we're just going to focus on TCG Player. You've got your 13% fee, and then you also have a 30-cent transaction fee. That 30-cent transaction fee is non-negotiable. It's not a percentage of your order. It's a flat 30 cents for every single order that you get on TCG Player. Now you may be pausing and be like, whoa, how in the world, Mr. RAR TCG, am I going to make money on a 20-cent card whenever TCG Player is charging me 30 cents flat on every single order? Well, that's a great question. Let's go ahead and break it down. But remember, our total for the order is $1.51. Very important to start there. So let's go ahead and take out our fees, right? So 13% of $1.51 is going to be, got to come up here. So that 13% is going to be about 20 cents in fees. Again, that's the cost of the card. I get it. And then our transaction fee is going to be 30 cents. So all combined, all in together, our fees from TCG are going to be 50 cents. That's a third of the total amount of the order. I know that sounds crazy, right? That sounds crazy. But remember, that leaves us with $1.01 left over. Now, this is important because this is where shipping, your postage, your costs, your shipping supplies, that's where all this is going to come out of. So the most expensive part of shipping is always postage. It's always going to be your stamps. You may hear some YouTubers, you may read some threads out there on Reddit, unscrupulous forums online that say that you can buy stamps at X, Y, and Z site for extremely cheap. I do not recommend that at all. Do not mess around with stamps. Do not mess around with the United States Postal Service. If you are caught, dealing with fake postage, fake stamps, you are gonna get got. Okay, and that we're talking about 20-cent card here. You about to risk everything for a 20-cent piece of cardboard, bro? Don't do that, man. Do things the right way. That's my recommendation, okay? That's my recommendation. So we're left with $1.01 left over. After that, we need to subtract our postage, which is going to be one forever stamp. If you're selling one card, you got your envelope, you got your paper, you got everything, then you are only, that's not going to be over, it's not going to be over an ounce. So all you got to do is slap that forever stamp on there and you should be good to go. That forever stamp is going to run you 78 cents out of our leftover $1.01 that we were working with. So all in all, this leaves you with 23 cents. This is your potential profit here, okay? Potential profit, 23 cents. Oh my gosh, so much work gone into this, and we just have 23 cents left over, but we still gotta pay for the envelope, the paper. And then how are we gonna safely get the card in the envelope, in the paper? Because we can't just drop the raw card in there. Maybe we wanna put a sleeve on it. Some people recommend shipping shields. Other people recommend top loaders. For me, I have worked over time to optimize my shipping. I buy tons of stuff in bulk. I buy from places like Uline. I buy from Amazon Basics. I buy from places like eBay. All of this has been done to minimize the amounts of money that I spend on shipping supplies. And it is extremely, extremely important that you optimize your shipping supplies. If you want to learn more about my method of shipping, go check out my TCG business playlist. I think I got a couple of videos there on shipping, but just one recently in the last couple of months that you can check out there. I go in more details about what my current shipping method was at that time. I'll definitely be sure to update that as I go in the coming months and years. But just know, if you want a reference for how I do things, which is somewhat different than others, but I still have 100% feedback on TCG Player. I'm a gold star seller with close to 4,000 sales now. So just as a reference for what I do, my shipping is not the prettiest, but I'm not trying to be the prettiest seller. I'm trying to be the most effective bulk seller I can be, and that's the only way I can do it in order to stay profitable. But at the same time, if you check out my reviews on TCG Player, you will also see that people are very positive towards how secure and how safe the cards are when they're shipped and received. So just because I'm not the prettiest and there's not stamps or stickers or, colored envelopes or anything like that, it's very, very cut and dry. I do a very good job, an intentional job of keeping things safe. So where can you expect to be with this 23 cents? Well, that's the piece of the puzzle that I'm going to leave open for discussion. For me personally, I average anywhere between, out of that, maybe 10, 15 cents. 10, 15 cents depending on what the order is, how I'm shipping it, and everything like that. That's kind of where my profit is. So let's say we made 10 cents. And now you may be saying, like, how could it ever be worth it? How could it ever be worth it to get an order like that and spend all the time it takes to buy the bulk, to sort the bulk, to get the bulk listed and in your inventory, to sell it, and then to package it, put it in an envelope, and ship it? How is that possibly worth it for 10 cents? Well, for a lot of people, it's not worth it. And that's kind of where we're going to kind of start landing this plane. For a lot of people, this video might be discouraging. because bulk is so alluring, because anybody can start with bulk. Anybody can do it. And I actually recommend, if you want to start a Pokemon card business, you should consider starting with bulk. But it's not easy. It's a grind. It's all about volume. It's all about how many orders you can get in a day. It's all about making your inventory wider and vaster and deeper. For me, I've also branched out into selling Magic the Gathering, bulk and singles there. So like, this is a grind. But I want you to remember what we talked about just before we went into the numbers. What did we buy these cards at? We bought these cards at 10 cents. $10 per 1,000 cards. That means that one card cost me 1 penny. And I was able to turn that penny into a dime. Okay? Did I get paid? Did I get rich over that order? No. But I had a penny and now it's a dime. Okay? Now, what if I did that 100 times, in a week? What if I turned a penny into a dime 100 times a week? Could you do that? Could you average just over 10 orders a day? Could you do that yourself? Well, what would that do? Well, 10 times 100, I'm trying to do quick math here. Oh my gosh. 10 times, I'm so bad. I'm so bad. What is that? That's $10, bro. $10, bro. No, just, I'm so sorry. This is so embarrassing. But yeah, 10 times 100. Wait, 10 times 10 would be $1. Yeah, it's $10. $10 right there. If you had 100 orders of just 20-cent cards each week, you would make $10. You would turn basically $1 worth of cards, 100 cards, into $10. Now, if you scale that, and you also keep in mind that people oftentimes buy more than just one card, then things kind of get interesting. Magic starts to happen because the bulk lot that you bought for $100, $200, you pay that off so quickly. You get to recoup all your money from that initial investment of $100, like within the first month or two, you get that money back. And then those cards are in your inventory, right? You've got another $200 that you could buy another bulk lot with. You could go out and look for some singles on Facebook Marketplace to flip as well, to buy at 70% and flip. But all the time in the background, that several thousand cards of bulk that you did all that work for is still slowly and gradually selling over time. So 6 months later, that $200 investment that you got the initial seed money back for in the first 2 months because you sold the higher value cards, you made sure to sort those out and sell those first, all of a sudden that's generated $400, $500. So all of a sudden, you are exponentially expanding your revenue 10 cents at a time. It's actually pretty magical. It's pretty amazing. But like I said, it's a ton of work and you're not paying yourself. This right here, this strategy of selling bulk, there are really amazing people who are much more efficient and much smarter than me as business owners that make this their full-time thing, selling bulk. They do it. They do it at a crazy scale that I couldn't even fathom, that I don't even have space for in my current setup. So this is totally possible to expand this, to scale this up, because at the end of the day, your business and your success as a business is not determined by one crazy opportunity that happens. It's not determined by one good buy opportunity that you found on Facebook Marketplace. It's not found by buying that, vintage collection that the grandmother found and then sold at their garage sale that you picked up for $100, but it was worth $1,000. Was that exciting that you did that? Sure. Did you know you did that to that grandmother? Because that's kind of weird, right? That kind of raises some moral stuff. But listen, a business is not built off of those one-time, like, black swan events that happen every now and then. A business is built off of scalability and consistency. It's built off of something you can replicate over and over and over again. You build systems and processes, and it's a machine that runs all of the time, like nonstop. So, how can you build that sort of system and process and machine around you? Because people do it for all different areas of the hobby, for sealed, for singles, for graded cards, for bulk, like all of these things, they're not pretty. When you dive into the actual systems, the nitty gritty, it's not pretty. It's not something that's so fashionable, stylistic, you know? It's something that is just a grind. It's consistency. It is having that mindset that you want this more than whatever else you could have, and that time investment is worth it. Because for me, I love bulk because I know the time investment I'm putting in. No, I'm not paying myself right now. But every time I get to turn a penny into a dime, that is 10 more cents than my business has now than it did before that happened, which means I'm one step closer to that next collection buy. I'm one step closer to buying, the next new set that releases in Japan. I'm one step closer to growing my live stream and my business and my brands and what I'm doing. I'm one step closer to making this business as big and as scaled as I want it to be. So I hope this video is encouraging to you. Just like last kind of closing thoughts here. If this is discouraging to you and you're saying there's just no way, like you look at this, you made it to the end of the video and you're like, I don't think so, man. That's okay. It's okay. I think that the hobby's amazing. Whether you're a collector, an investor, a player, a reseller, an LGS owner, like all of us make the hobby as wonderful and beautiful as it is, as amazing as it is. But not all of us are gonna wear the same hats. So like not everyone in the hobby is meant to be a reseller. Not everyone in the hobby is meant to be an investor or a sealed collector. Not all resellers are meant to be LGS owners. Like it's okay to be self-aware and acknowledge those things. It's okay to acknowledge, like it's okay to maybe dip your toes in and sell a couple hundred orders of bulk and be like, oh, I actually hate this. I hate fulfilling orders. I hate packing orders. I hate buying bulk and sorting through it. It's hard stuff. And it's okay if it's not for you. Okay, but you can still enjoy Pokemon. And in fact, if you want to learn how to make money in other ways, there's a ton of other YouTubers that go into that. Bulk doesn't have to be the thing that you do. Thank you all for watching, guys. Look at my glasses. Whoa, fogging up there. That's crazy. I'm not going to edit this out either. That's crazy. It's not even hot in my room. I have been a little bit under the weather, though, so I think maybe that's it. Anyways, guys, somebody told me I need to get sound paneling in my room. That's actually probably really true. I've been loving the comments on the videos, guys. Remember, even if you disagree with me, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I always enjoy like kind of chopping it up with you guys. It's always fun. I'll see y'all for the next one, though. Peace.